Welcome back to the Newport Gulls pregame show. This is the front office report, and I'm joined by the general manager of the Newport Gulls, Chuck Paiva. And Chuck, we'll start with on Wednesday night. We tried getting the game in. The forecast looked kind of ugly early on in the day, but we got everything in. The national anthem hit, and then all of a sudden, here comes the tarp and the rain.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. I mean, we watched the weather all day, and it's unfortunately in New England and in southern New England or anywhere in New England, it's just too hard to predict. You know, pop-up storms look like they're coming. Some storms don't come, and you see percentages. We canceled the game early in the year because it was a 100% chance of cancellation or rain, and it never rained here. So we tried to get it in. We had a lot on our plate. People's Credit Union is an important night for the readers. So we tried to get it in. We got at least accomplished that aspect of it, getting the game day sponsorship component taken care of. But, you know, then it poured. We tried to save it. You see that tarp action that we put out on the field. It was pretty impressive, but it just wasn't going to do it. A tarp wasn't going to get us playable for that night anyway.
Now, I saw you and Matt Finlayson during the rain delay originally just have a conversation about pretty much everything that wasn't covered by the tarp was covered in puddles of water. Yeah. What goes into a decision with you and a visiting general manager to bang a game out and try to reschedule one?
Well, you know, it's really not up to us. Once the umpires have the lineup cards in the game, then the game's in their hands. So it's not up to. I don't have that official capacity to bang this game unless it's before the umpires get involved. So the other night, we were just talking about, it's obvious that we're not going to get this game in. What are our options going forward from here? When can we remake this game up? What dates are left, you know, and that kind of conversation. Then you get together with the umpires and everybody's on the same page. Pretty obvious at that point.
Now, this is game 30 here tonight because of the rain out. The Gulls come in at 18-11 overall. Last season, a much different story. They were still struggling. They were in the middle of that 11 out of 13 game losing streak. This year, the pitching staff, which you have focused on pretty much since the beginning of the offseason, has really come through for this team. And this team is completely in a different spot that they were last year.
Yeah, you know, every year is different, Rob. You know, it's just too hard to predict. We were in a bad place last year as a team in terms of how they were winning and losing. And I'm not sure if it's exactly this stretch or might be coming up for us this next stretch, but it is a grind. This is the time of the year where you really got to reach in somewhere in that soul of yours and say, okay, I got 2 weeks left here. I've got to grind it out. I've got 10, 15 more games left or whatever it might be. And just focus on trying to, you know, stay focused on doing your job on the field and stay healthy and all those kind of things, which our guys do well. They always do. Last year was an aberration, but this year we got enough pitching, so I think hopefully we'll never run into that kind of a rut long term.
Now, is that something that's explained to the players, is the grind it itself with this season and with this league? I remember 2 seasons ago in 2013, it rained like every other day, and teams were playing doubleheaders. Not only just doubleheaders, but split location doubleheaders, playing a game like in New Bedford and then coming here. Early afternoon game, late evening game. Is that something that's explained to the players is, hey, this is going to happen at the end of the season just because of the way New England weather is and the way the schedule works out?
We do explain to them that it's a grind. You know, the last part is really difficult in a lot of respects. You know, guys get tired, injuries, things like that. Got guys have gone home already, you know, and the guys that are here will grind it out. And they're here. What you see, though, is a group of men come together and say, okay, this is our family right now, and this is how we're going to stay together as a group, and this is who we're going to grind with.
Now, a little bit of fun this weekend is going to be the 22nd NECBL All-Star Game up in Goodall Park in Sanford, Maine. The Gulls are sending not only 9 players but 3 coaches up to represent the Southern Division. This team is very stacked with a lot of good players, a lot of good characters overall. Shea Donlan making another appearance in the NECBL All-Star Game. Reed Gamache as well making another appearance. What does it mean for an organization to see 9 of your guys not only go up to the All-Star Game, but a lot of them making the start for that game?
You know, it's really, listen, I am so proud of my kids, whether it's 1 or whether it's 15, whether it's 9's a big number. And it really, you know, it's not easy to do as a Gull, and I'll tell you why. Because everybody's expectation is, you know, the Newport Gulls is in first place or whatever we are, and we are always going to have a good team here because we always do. And, you know, I think sometimes it's harder on us to get all-star guys because of that. You know, you might not get all the votes, but the way it turned out this year, I think everybody recognized the guys they're sending up there should be all-stars. There's a couple guys I think that can play on that all-star game in that All-Star game, regardless of whether they were voted in or not. They're that good. But, you know, you can't get everybody up there. I'm happy that 9 got there. I'm sorry for the guys who deserved to get up there that didn't. But it's a vote, and it's our job to try to sell our kids as much as we can, which we did. And in the end of the day, the vote's out of our control. So we did our best, and we got 9 guys. So I'm really excited for them. I'm excited for our organization, and it's going to be a nice event on Sunday.
Now, the event at Goodall Park is going to be a great event. Goodall Park is one of the best ballparks in the league. I just learned a little while ago, you've known for a bit, that next year the All-Star game is going to be here at Cardines Field. This should be, if my count is correct, the 3rd NECBL All-Star game hosted by the Newport Gulls.
That is correct. I mean, when you really think about it, it's been 2005, 2010, now 2016. So about every 5 years. It's a big event. You know, it needs to go around the league. Everybody needs to share in this opportunity. And when it came time to vote on it again, I thought it was time for us to throw our hat in again. And the league was more than acceptable to have us host it this year, which I'm very honored by that, and looking forward to that opportunity next year. We'll put on a show here.
Between the All-Star game and the grind of the last 10 games of the NECBL season, we're going to have a lot of fun over the last couple of weeks. Thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day, Chuck.
No, thank you so much for having me.
And that is the general manager of the Newport Gulls, Chuck Paiva, on the front office report, which we have every Friday here on the NECBL Broadcast Network, the Newport Gulls pregame show. The pregame show continues next.